Welcome back to my channel Knowledge Chronicle.
Have you ever wondered how you can instantly react when you hear your name in a crowd? Or how your eyes adjust to bright light in a second? Or even how you know it's raining without even seeing it, just by the chill in the air? All of this is made possible by one extraordinary system in your body: neural control and coordination. Welcome to Knowledge Chronicle, where we break down complex science into bite-sized, mind-blowing concepts. Today's topic: sensory reception and processing. How your body detects, processes, and responds to environmental stimuli. And trust me, it's more fascinating than you think. So, how do we sense the world around us? How do we see, hear, feel, taste, and smell? It all begins with sensory organs, specialized structures designed to receive environmental stimuli. These organs, eyes, ears, skin, tongue, and nose, convert external physical or chemical stimuli into electrical signals called nerve impulses. These impulses are then carried to the central nervous system, or CNS, your brain and spinal cord, where the real magic happens. Let's start with one of the most vital sensory organs, the eye. The human eye is almost a perfect sphere, about 2.5 centimeters in diameter, nestled safely within bony sockets of the skull called orbits. Its wall consists of 3 concentric layers. A. Sclera, or outer layer. It's the white, protective outer layer made of dense connective tissue. The front portion of it forms the cornea, which is transparent and allows light to enter the eye. B. Choroid, or middle layer. This layer is rich in blood vessels and nourishes the eye. Towards the front, it thickens to form the ciliary body, which holds the lens via ligaments. The ciliary body extends to form the iris, that colored part of your eye. In the center of the iris is a hole called the pupil, which controls the amount of light entering the eye, just like a camera aperture. C. Retina, or inner layer. The retina is where the real action happens. It has 3 layers of neural cells, ganglion cells, bipolar cells, and photoreceptors, rods and cones. Rods help in dim light or night vision and contain a pigment called rhodopsin, or visual purple, made from vitamin A. Cones function in bright light and allow color vision. There are 3 types, each sensitive to red, green, or blue light. When stimulated in different combinations, these cones allow us to see the entire rainbow of colors. There's also a region called the fovea in the retina, where cones are densely packed, allowing for sharp and detailed central vision. Just beside it lies the blind spot, where the optic nerve exits the eye. No photoreceptors here, so no image is formed at this point. Other important parts: aqueous humor, clear fluid between the cornea and lens. Vitreous humor, jelly-like fluid between the lens and retina, maintaining the eyeball's shape. Here's where it gets exciting. Light enters the eye through the cornea, passes through the aqueous humor, the pupil, and the lens, and finally hits the retina. Inside the retina, the photopigments in rods and cones absorb light. These pigments consist of opsin, or protein, and retinal, or derived from vitamin A. When light hits, retinal changes shape and detaches from opsin. This biochemical reaction alters membrane permeability, generating an electrical signal. The process begins in the eye's photoreceptors. Then the message travels through a few layers of cells, reaches the optic nerve, and finally goes to the brain's visual center, where we make sense of what we see. And voila! The brain decodes the signals and builds the image you see, comparing it with stored memories. That's how you recognize your friend or a red traffic light almost instantly. The ear, hearing, and balance in harmony. Let's move on to another marvel. The ear, responsible for hearing and balance. The ear is divided into 3 sections: outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. Now, let's focus on the outer ear. The pinna collects sound waves and the external auditory canal carries them to the tympanic membrane, or eardrum. Moving on to the middle ear, it contains 3 tiny bones or ossicles: malleus, incus, and stapes, the smallest bones in the human body. These bones amplify the vibrations from the eardrum and pass them to the oval window of the inner ear. The middle ear is also connected to the eustachian tube, which balances air pressure between the ear and throat. That's why swallowing clears your ears during a flight. The inner ear, also known as the labyrinth, is fluid-filled and divided into 2 main parts: the cochlea, which is responsible for hearing, and the vestibular apparatus, which is essential for balance. The cochlea itself contains 3 chambers: the scala vestibuli, scala media, and scala tympani. Within the cochlea lies the organ of Corti, located on the basilar membrane. This structure houses hair cells, which are your auditory receptors. These hair cells have stereocilia that make contact with the tectorial membrane. Now, let's talk about the mechanism of hearing. Here's what happens when a sound is heard. Sound first comes into the ear through the outer part called the pinna, then moves through a small tube or ear canal, and finally hits the eardrum. The eardrum starts vibrating, which makes the tiny ear bones or ossicles move, and these vibrations are then passed to the oval window. These vibrations create waves in the cochlear fluid. This movement bends the hair cells in the organ of corti, creating nerve impulses. These impulses are carried by the auditory nerve to the auditory cortex of the brain, where the sound is recognized. Now let's move on to balance. Ever wondered how you stay upright while walking, or why you feel dizzy after spinning? That's your vestibular apparatus at work. The vestibular apparatus consists of 3 semicircular canals, which detect rotational movements, and the utricle and saccule, which detect linear motion and gravity. Each of these structures contains hair cells within sensory ridges called crista and macula. These hair cells detect the movement of the fluid or endolymph when you tilt, move, or spin. These signals help your brain maintain balance and posture. So next time you see a flower, hear a song, or balance on one foot, remember, it's your nervous system working in perfect harmony with your sensory organs, interpreting, analyzing, and reacting to the world around you at lightning speed. If you found this video fascinating and learned something new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support will help us create more valuable content. See you in the next episode of Knowledge Chronicle.